60%. That is the staggering percentage of global organizations that are currently stuck at level 1 or level 2 of the software asset management maturity model. They are bleeding millions of dollars every single year, completely blind to their own software waste, and living in constant fear of the next vendor audit. Welcome back to the SAM Fundamentals series. I'm Shub, the licensed nerd. In our last video, we exposed the $34 billion bonfire of unused software and introduced the ISO 19770 standard. Today, we are going deep into the SAM maturity model. We are going to break down all 5 levels, from chaotic to strategic, reveal the top 10 KPIs you must track, and expose the 5 deadly mistakes that will destroy your SAM implementation before it even begins. If you want to stop playing defense and start turning your IT department into a profit center, keep watching. Let's start with the brutal reality. The SAM maturity model, developed by industry leaders like Gartner and SoftwareOne, is not just a theoretical framework. It is a survival guide. It is a 5-step ladder out of the chaos of unmanaged software spend. And the first step on that ladder is level 1, Ad-hoc, or as I like to call it, the Wild West. At level 1, there are absolutely no formal SAM processes. Software is purchased reactively, usually by individual departments swiping corporate credit cards without any central oversight. This is the definition of shadow IT. Your software inventory is either completely non-existent or it's a massive, outdated spreadsheet that hasn't been touched in 6 months. You have zero visibility into your total software spend, and your compliance status is a complete mystery. The risk profile at level 1 is astronomical. When a vendor like Oracle or Microsoft sends an audit notification, the entire IT department goes into full panic mode. It's a scramble to gather basic data, and you are almost guaranteed to face massive penalties. You are not managing your assets are managing you. But you can't stay here. To move to level 2, you have to stop the bleeding. You need to establish a basic software inventory, assign someone the responsibility of SAM, even if it's not their full-time job, and centralize your purchasing for major vendors. You have to put a lock on the corporate credit card and start tracking what is actually coming into the building. That brings us to level 2, managed. Congratulations, you are no longer in total chaos, but you are still entirely reactive. At level 2, basic SAM processes are in place. You have a software inventory, but it probably has significant gaps. You are tracking your major contracts, but your records are incomplete. When an audit hits, you don't panic quite as much. You can usually respond within 30 to 60 days, but it requires a massive manual effort from your team. You are surviving, but you are definitely still overpaying for licenses because you aren't optimizing anything. You are just trying to keep your head above water. To break out of level 2 and reach level 3, you need a paradigm shift. You have to move from defense to offense. This requires formalizing your processes, documenting your policies, and most importantly, hiring a dedicated SAM manager or team. You need to implement a tool that can calculate your effective license position, or ELP, for all your major vendors. Level 3, defined, is the turning point. This is where SAM becomes a recognized, respected function within the business. Your processes are documented and consistently followed. You have a comprehensive, regularly updated software inventory. At level 3, compliance is monitored proactively, at least on a quarterly basis. You aren't waiting for the auditor to knock on your door. You already know exactly where you stand. You are reporting SAM metrics to IT leadership, and if an audit request does come in, you can respond confidently within 2 weeks. Your risk profile drops from moderate to low. But while your compliance risks are managed, your optimization is not yet systematic. You are safe, but you aren't yet maximizing your return on investment. That is where level 4 comes in. Level 4 is optimized. This is the promised land for most organizations. At level 4, SAM is a continuous automated optimization engine. Data-driven decision-making drives massive cost reduction. SAM is deeply integrated with procurement and IT operations. License harvesting, reclaiming, and used software from employees is a routine, automated process. You aren't just tracking what you have. You are actively right-sizing your environment every single day. Contract renewals are optimized 90 days in advance using hard usage data. giving you massive leverage at the negotiating table. At level 4, your SAM savings are meticulously tracked, reported, and recognized by finance leadership. You are managing your cloud and SaaS licensing with the exact same rigor as your on-premises software. Your SAM team has specialized roles, like cloud cost analysts and licensing experts. Your risk profile is incredibly low. You are audit-ready 365 days a year, and you are consistently reducing software costs year over year. Organizations at level 4 typically see a 25 to 30% reduction in their total software spend. But there is still one level higher. Level 5 is strategic. At this pinnacle of maturity, SAM is no longer just an IT function. It is a strategic capability integrated with enterprise governance. SAM data directly informs the company's overall technology strategy. When your company is looking at mergers and acquisitions, the SAM team is conducting due diligence to assess the licensing implications before the deal is signed. SAM data is used in financial planning and forecasting at the highest levels. The SAM function has executive-level sponsorship and reports directly to the C-suite. At level 5, vendor relationships are managed strategically across the entire portfolio. You aren't just negotiating contracts. You are partnering with vendors to drive mutual business value. Your SAM processes are continuously improved based on industry benchmarks. Your organization is recognized internally and externally as best in class. SAM insights drive business decisions far beyond IT, influencing workforce planning and location strategy. At level 5, SAM is a massive competitive advantage. But how do you prove you are actually making progress? You need the right metrics. Let's talk about the top 10 key performance indicators, or KPIs, that every mature SAM program must track. KPI number 1 is your license compliance rate. This is the percentage of your software installations that are fully compliant with your legal agreements. If this number isn't near 100%, you are at risk. KPI number 2 is your software utilization rate. This measures the percentage of installed software that is actually being actively used by employees. Remember, 50% of installed software goes unused. This metric exposes that waste. KPI number 3 is cost per user. You take your total software spend and divide it by your total number of users. This helps you benchmark against industry standards and track efficiency over time. KPI number 4 is your contract renewal rate. How many of your contracts are actively optimized before renewal versus just auto-renewing blindly? KPI number 5 is time to audit response. How many days does it take your team to produce accurate compliance data when a vendor knocks? At level 1, it's months. At level 4, it's hours. KPI number 6 is your license harvest rate. How many unused licenses are you reclaiming and reallocating every quarter? This is pure cost avoidance. KPI number 7 is your shadow IT discovery rate. How much unauthorized software are you finding on your network? KPI number 8 is cost avoidance. This is the hard dollar amount you saved the company by optimizing licenses instead of buying new ones. KPI number 9 is vendor satisfaction score, measuring the health of your strategic partnerships. And finally, KPI number 10 is your overall SAM program ROI. You take your total savings and divide it by the cost of your SAM tools and team. Now, even if you know the levels and the KPIs, the journey is filled with traps. Let's expose the 5 most common mistakes organizations make when implementing SAM. Mistake number 1, over-reliance on SAM tools. Companies spend $1 million on a fancy SAM tool and think the problem is solved. But a tool is just an engine. If you feed it garbage data, it will give you garbage outputs. You must prioritize data integrity and clean your inventory before you ever turn the tool on. Mistake number 2, insufficient executive support. SAM initiatives span across IT, procurement, legal, and finance. If your CIO or CFO isn't actively championing the program, you will never get the cross-departmental collaboration you need. You will be ignored. Mistake number 3, a sole focus on cost reduction. Yes, saving money is great, but if you ignore compliance and security, one massive audit penalty or data breach will wipe out years of savings. You need a holistic approach. Mistake number 4, inadequate internal communication. If your employees don't understand the SAM policies, they won't follow them. You need clear, documented procedures for requesting software, and you need to train your staff. Otherwise, shadow IT will run rampant. And finally, mistake number 5, underestimating the need for expertise. Software licensing is incredibly complex. Microsoft, Oracle, and IBM contracts are written by lawyers to confuse you. Don't try to guess. Bring in SAM experts and consultants who actually understand the fine print. Moving up the SAM maturity model is not a sprint. It is a marathon. It typically takes an organization 12 to 18 months just to move up a single level. But the payoff is massive. A mature SAM program can deliver a 300% return on investment within 3 years. It transforms your IT department from a cost center that constantly begs for budget into a strategic powerhouse that actively funds the company's innovation. You stop paying the fear tax and you take back control. So, where does your organization stand today? Are you stuck in the chaos of level 1? Or are you pushing towards the strategic value of level 5? In our next video, we are going to tackle the beast itself, the Microsoft Enterprise Agreement. We will break down exactly how to negotiate it, optimize it, and avoid the hidden traps. If you found this deep dive into the maturity model valuable, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with your IT leadership team. I'm Shub, the licensed nerd, and I'll see you in the next one.